Devin, now that you just got kind of confirmation of what the injury is and what the timeline is, kind of how are you processing and moving forward with the information that you have?
I mean, I already, had been expecting this for a week now, so it wasn't anything new to me. It was just, confirming that and kind of laying out a timeline of how the process is going to go and what I need to do for me to get back.
We understand you're going to be shut down from throwing for 6 weeks, so what will the process look like after that to get you back on the mound?
I'm not completely sure. It's going to be a build-up process, probably about another 6 weeks of throwing before I can get back into games. Being out or not picking up a ball for 6 weeks kind of takes time to build up after that. So we'll see what it is when it gets to it.
Do you feel confident in that second 6 weeks timeline, or is it a little more iffy just because of the nature of like a back injury? You'll see how it feels.
Yeah, I think it's kind of based on how I feel. I know Dr. Watkins wanted to be a little more cautious considering that there's 2 fractures and not just one. But yeah.
Do you know when the fractures happened? Was it this camp, or were you dealing with it previously?
I mean, I can't pinpoint it to any specific day. I remember feeling pain in my back in September, going to warm up and things just didn't feel right, but I just figured it was, some muscle soreness or tight muscles, things like that, and I was able to pitch through it.
How'd you feel this offseason? Did it go away a little bit?
It was mostly the same. There would be good days, bad days, but I was just getting treatment and, preparing for this season like usual. I didn't really think much of it.
And then as soon as you got here, the pain, when you were throwing, the pain just persisted.
Yeah, I mean, I had a big, flare-up. It completely locked up the first day I got here. And just, that was all I did the first day was play catch and lift in the weight room. So I reported that, and then we kind of worked through that to the point where I was throwing again, getting off the mound, getting in games. And that last game against the Giants, it really started to bother me. I started compensating, and, my shoulder was getting sore in places that I don't get sore in because I'm compensating. And so then I said, we need to get this checked out.
For sure. With the nature of the injury, how happy are you that you went and got that second opinion?
Yeah. I'm just glad I was able to get in front of, a doctor that knows what he's looking at, and, he's an expert in that field.
You've dealt with injury before. You've come back from adversity back when you were in the minor leagues. Is there anything to draw from in that, given this is obviously a shorter timeline than when Tom and John was? Is there anything that you pulled from your time in high A?
I mean, I know how to rehab. I've done it before. 3 months isn't, in the grand scheme of things, that's not really that long. I'd obviously rather be playing, but, I'll do my best to make sure that it, heals up correctly and I'm back out there for the guys.
In your conversations with Dr. Watkins, did he share, are there any other pitchers or baseball players that have dealt with an injury like this?
Yeah, I think
or any
the
guys
thing
that
with
you can
mine,
talk to?
stress fractures, the way it was explained to me, are fairly common. It's usually not that big of a deal, but it's usually in a different spot than where I have it, which I don't know if maybe that's why this wasn't the thought that this could be a stress fracture didn't happen sooner because of where I was saying I felt the pain. Typically I guess it's lower, and you're like L4, L5. It's kind of rare to have it all the way up in your T12.
How bad was the pain at the end of last year?
Do you want a scale or
1 to 10, sure.
I was still pitching in games, so not too bad to the point where I needed to be out, but I didn't feel good. But we played through stuff all the time. Nobody feels 100% all the time, and it was September. That's par for the course.
When you look around the clubhouse, one of these young arms comes up to you, asks, "Hey, I might have the ninth inning tonight." What would you tell them, and what kind of advice would you have?
I would say it's probably a little early to be planning for that before the game, considering what Murph said. But we've got a lot of guys, I think, that can step up in that role. You know, a lot of high leverage arms that are in our bullpen right now. So, you know, I think those guys will, you know, do their thing and pick me up while I'm out.
Is your best course to be here or in Milwaukee, or go with the team? And what will you do for your?
To my
sanity?
knowledge, I'll still be traveling with the team. You know, so I'll be there cheering the guys on. If anyone needs any, you know, advice or help with anything, I'll be there. You know, just trying to help out in any way I can.
I think that's better than being stuck here and watching games on TV and stuff, being around it. And
Absolutely. I've done that before, so I know that gets very tedious, you know, so I'd definitely rather be traveling.